Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Just thought I'd return to you tonight for this next 2024 movie review. And I finally got a chance to check this movie out to see what I was going to think of it. So this is for Dune Part 2. I actually did buy it on DVD just so you're aware, just to watch it for tonight. So I just got done with it like 10 minutes ago or something like that. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for Dune Part 2, the second film in the film series of the Dune series, and let you know my thoughts on this movie overall with Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya and Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler. So we'll get into more of the other characters in a second. So let's dive into this movie review now. Basically, it explores the journey of Paul Atreides as he unites with Johnny and the Freemen while on a warpath of revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family, facing a choice between love of his life and the fate of the known universe. He endeavors to prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. So that's what it is basically describing for the premise of the movie, the thing I read right here. So pretty much with what I seen with this movie, there's a lot of things that are pretty interesting about this movie. Like, he learns the ways of the Freemen. The Fremen, I believe, is what their culture or their group of people are. So basically, the Fremen actually go to war with the Harkins, and this basically the Emperor's minions in a way. And Christopher Walken plays a villain in this movie, the Emperor, so he's not really a nice guy. But Paul actually gets a new war hero name, Uso, or whatever his name is, or something like that. But he then fights Austin Butler at the end of the film, which is pretty eventful fight, and it's pretty interesting of a fight. I was really impressed with this movie. Another great Dune film. I enjoyed the first one. This one is pretty strong too. It is definitely going to be in the top 5 of my best movies of 2024. And pretty much with what I watched, I was very impressed with this film. Definitely worth the watch. It is pretty lengthy. It's like 2 hours and 46 minutes. So you're in for a lengthy movie. I'm just going to say that. But it is a very adventurous ride for that long of a movie. And you find out things get explained in this movie, who he really is, and where he came from, where his mother came from, and who he really is. So basically, you find out more about Paul Atreides in this film. And Austin Butler is like crazy, honestly, in this film, but his performance was pretty strong in this film. But something happens at the end of the film where he has to do a trial by combat thing with like a pick and choose your fighter and to defend you, because the Emperor Christopher Walken came down at the end of the film to Arrakis and was ready to choose his champion to come to his defense, and that was Austin Butler. And I'll admit there were things that were happening. So now in the Dune Messiah movie, which is coming out in 2026, I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out, because this film was pretty epic, and this was a fantastic film. He does fall in love with Zendaya in the film. Timothy Chalamet does. His performance was outstanding in this film. So was Zendaya's performance. So pretty much, if I were to give this movie, its overall score, it's going to get a strong 9.5 out of 10. This was a really good movie. Probably better than the first one. I was really impressed with this because an all-out war happens, or is soon to be happening, in Dune Messiah. This was like the conclusion of the war in Arrakis. So now it's going to go to the royal houses where basically they're going to fight them and kind of rule the galaxy, apparently. I don't know what's going to happen in the third film, but there's much to be told about the Dune series, and this, I will say, is by far the best Dune series I've seen. I heard the original Dune wasn't that great, and that's why they didn't do any more. But to each his own. Heard the movie sucked from certain reviewers. Yeah, if I watched the Kyle MacLachlan movie, I believe that's who his name is, because he was in the Fallout series. He's a good actor, by the way, very underrated, but some of his movies can be good or bad. But still, Timothée Chalamet does a great job in this film with his performance. So do the other actors and actresses. Dave Bautista does a pretty good job in this film too. But there are characters that get killed off in this film that will leave you like, oh, so that happened. Like, I kind of figured it was going to happen, but there were characters we weren't going to miss. So, pretty much 9.5 out of 10 for Dune Part 2. It was a great film. I really enjoyed this film. Had a blast watching it. The war scenes were pretty epic. And yeah, Josh Brolin's performance, Florence Pugh, she's like the Emperor's daughter, I believe. So, things are going to happen in the third film in Messiah where he's going to fight the royal houses, Paul is, with the Fremen going to war alongside Paul and taking back the galaxy in a way and trying to fight for the freemen. So, basically, we'll see what happens in Dune Messiah in 2026. But for now, hopefully you enjoyed this part 2 for Dune Part 2. 9.5 out of 10 for this film, and thanks for watching. Have a good night.